Okay, we're winding down to the last few hours of Gamescom now, and that means, as tradition, to come to Tim Roccat here to see how he's doing. How's this Gamescom been for you?
Well, it's been amazing. You know, we have a huge lineup this year, and we've got a lot of attention. And yeah, we got some nice things that I want to show you, and it has been amazing so far.
Well, first and foremost, this keyboard with phone. What's the keyboard? What's the new stuff on this?
Well, both of these products I'm about to show you represent kind of a new design philosophy that we want to take at Roccat. We think that the future of gaming peripherals is different than many of our competitors maybe think it is. So we think that in the future gaming peripherals have to be adaptive. You got to adapt to the needs of the customers. You have to integrate different devices, different platforms, and that's what these two devices I'm about to show you can do. So the Skelter Keyboard is the first keyboard with a full integration of the smartphone. So you have like two layers. The one is the hardware side. You have a Bluetooth chip in the smartphone. That means you can plug in your headset, pair your phone to the Bluetooth of the keyboard, and then take the phone call just with pushing one button. You can switch back and forth between the sound of your call and maybe Skype or TeamSpeak or whatever you've been using before, because of course you don't want to listen all your teammates when your girlfriend is calling you or whatever. Then there's another smart little button here, and with that you switch from typing between the smartphone and the PC. So that means I can show it to you. Okay. We always use this browser window because it opens very fast. So you can switch and you can type on your smartphone. So that's super comfortable for WhatsApp or Facebook messengers, stuff like that, or even to take short notes. With the arrow keys you can navigate websites. And by just pushing this button, you're back on your PC again.
So I assume this dock that comes in the back of the keyboard, it's flexible enough to take in any particular smartphone.
Right. The dock is part of the keyboard, and you can how do you say, plug it?
Sort of unscrew or tighten or yeah.
No, it works with a spring, like you know from car holders or so. Yeah, so you should be able to fit in, I would say, almost every common model of smartphones.
And is the idea then to talk to perhaps developers and such like that with the intention of maybe making apps specific, game-specific apps, so you can do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we also introduced with these two new products is a new driver. It's called Swarm. That's a unified driver. So far you always had to download one driver software for each Roccat product. This will change in the future, so we will have one unified driver. And depending on what product you plug in, it knows which product you're using. And then it offers you to download certain add-ons or apps. In this case, the Skelter app. That on the phone gives you a home screen, for example, that shows your basic system stats. You can change the volume and things like that. You could have your Spotify playlist, but it's also interactive, so it knows which programs are running in the foreground. So if you switch to Word, for example, your screen switches to the Word controls. If you switch to Firefox, it switches to the Firefox grid, if you want to call it like that. But you can also have, shortcuts for your games. You can open applications on the computer with it. And of course, we will also encourage and talk to developers to come up with their own stuff. There's an SDK for it, so people can code their own applications for it.
Was this something you guys had tinkered with? Where did the idea come for this? Was it just through seeing customers use the keyboard and constantly having to pick up their phone, or was this someone's come to you and went, "Do you know what I'd love to see?"
Yeah, we always thought that it is not a very smart idea. Don't want to sound rude, but it's not a very smart idea to put a fixed screen into a keyboard, because you are very limited to what you can do with it. Most of the time the quality is not that good, and it makes the keyboard very expensive. So we always thought that making use of the smartphone is the much better choice. That's why we came up with Power Grid with the app, and this is the next step, because we always wanted to have a closer integration with our hardware. And yeah, I mean, 99% of our target group or of our customers do have a smartphone, so why not try and make use of that and bring that together with their gaming environment?
Did you give thought to having tablet as well, or does it just not make sense given the weight?
Well, you see this rail on the back, so that's where the stand for the smartphone is attached to, so you can also move it. And it would be able, I think, to also build something like this for a tablet. You got to think if it really makes sense, because then if you have a tablet like this, you know, it covers most of your screen. But I mean, you could think about something like a standalone solution, so then that you can use the keyboard for the tablet, for example. But these are not specific plans that we have right now, but it's something that you could consider.
I guess I'll ask this, I should ask this when we're finished the next product, but is there an ETA release date, anything like that you guys are talking about?
I would say, I mean, this is a 2015 product, and I would say it will be something that we can release in Q1.
Like I said, this is not the only product you're showing us today, and it's quite fitting that in the background here, I don't know whether you can actually hear it, your boys are in the semi-finals, and we're going to be looking at a MOBA mouse.
Exactly.
Hi. Yeah, have you got? Yeah, I was going to say. Huh?
Well, yeah, it looks like I can't even. Oh, they're in the lead, 2-6 against Fnatic. So yeah, it's a best of 5. It's 1-1. So everybody else on the booth is watching it. So yeah, we are cheering for them.
So yeah, you decided to.
Is the hashtag on Twitter.
You guys decided to do a MOBA mouse.
Right. So we always wanted to do a MOBA mouse. But we always weren't big fans of these, 12 button grids that you cannot change. It's just not flexible enough for what we think is ideal. And that's why we challenged our designers, so to say, to come up with a solution where you could interchange all these buttons and build your own button grid on your MOBA mouse. So what you can do, there's a release down here. So if you push that, all these buttons come out, hopefully. They've been... So you see, you have like slots for all these keys, for all these buttons, sorry. There's a micro switch behind every of these slots. And then what you can do, you can try and build your own mouse. So if you say, I'm a MOBA player, but now the new Call of Duty is released and I want to play shooter for the next 4 weeks. But these buttons down here, they disturb me, I don't want to have my hands on it if I don't use the buttons. Then just put in things like this. I don't even know what you would call it in English.
Just a cover, yeah.
Cover, yeah. So cover that up. Oh, that's not. Cover that up, and then put in. I have to search for the right. Oh, there we go. So push that in, push the other one in, and then you have like two thumb buttons that you could use as an FPS mouse, for example. You could even change the whole shape of the mouse. So you are always also able to detach the side part. And change the whole shape. So it's completely customizable. It adapts to the needs that you as a gamer might have while playing different genres of games. And you don't need to buy a mouse for every genre. You can just, rebuild and interchange these buttons the way you need them.
So basically you guys are doing yourself like a business now. Just the one mouse you'll only need for the rest of your life.
Well, yeah. Let's see. I mean, there are other things that come from Roccat beside mice. So yeah, but I mean, why should you buy a mouse for each genre? I mean, it's also the new tie-in mouse is we built it as an FPS mouse, but I mean, you don't see it now with the top buttons here. You could even use it as a MOBA mouse. Yeah. So. Yeah, what I was about to say is you can also, we will give away 3D data, so you will be able to print out your own buttons if you want to, or if you don't have a 3D printer, then just use one of those online services where you can send in your 3D data and they print it out for you. So if you have some fancy ideas for your own buttons, you can do it.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask that because, as you said, you're sitting there searching away, so maybe like different color-coded buttons and everything like that works perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is a mock-up, you know, and our designers would think about solutions to make this easier. Color coding could be one, or just, you know, the size of the, so that just one size fits.
Yeah.
Something like this. So, yeah.
And with this, same again, expectation release date, anything you can talk about?
Well, I would say early in 2015. All right. And yeah, I mean, we keep you guys updated about an exact release date as soon as we know it.
Listen, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us. I know you're eager to get back and watch the semis, so I'll leave you to it. Thanks, man.
Thanks for coming by.